Welcome to Core Finance. I'm joined by Matt Brown, market commentator for Core London. Morning to you, Matt.
Morning, Miss.
Right, major headline this morning. North Korea goes ballistic again.
Firing missiles across Japan. More of the same. Again, I mean, this is on the back of the UN Security Council saying, putting restrictions in place for North Korea. Some saying actually probably not tough enough. There was a 15-0 unanimous vote, including China. Fat Boy Kim is firing off these missiles. He's saber rattling, and we've spoken before on the Friday about what this means for the market, and it hasn't really felt like a risk off as much as we've seen previously. Gold did have a bit of an uptick, as did yen, but that's been reversed. It's more about how you approach the weekend now, and I think it's not a case of risk off. It's just not putting on risk.
Extra risk.
Exactly. So, and another thing as well we've seen this morning is Bitcoin. It's down about 10% as one of the largest exchanges, if not the largest exchange in China, has decided to close. No more bids, no more offers. It's been a bad week for Bitcoin holders. JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon coming out saying, it's a fraud.
And I will sack people who are trading it, he said.
Indeed.
And this was when the market was at $5,000 and it's slumped to $3,620.
Yep. And dropped.
One of our colleagues has got involved in Bitcoin this week, he told us. So
top of the market, who knows? We'll find out.
Okay, let's move on then to a stock to watch, Dave. Wetherspoons up 9% as we go on the tape.
Performing well. Interim statement out today. This is a FTSE 250 stock, and it's always good to look at the announcements. Basically, they're not boring, and it makes for a very interesting read on a Friday. So I recommend viewers look up the interim statement on the JD Wetherspoons website. Tim Martin is very vocal, a very colourful character, and he's talking a lot about Brexit and what that means for UK industries. So he's really kind of a flag bearer, standing up for UK industries, and this comes after a couple of weeks ago when Theresa May was trying to get all the FTSE 100 company directors to back her. Now it's important that there is a voice in the market, whether you agree with it or not. We need balanced argument, and certainly Tim Martin is stepping up to the plate. Read the interim statement, and fantastic numbers as well.
Tim's PR did say earlier in the year that he would come here to Core at the end of the summer.
It'd be fantastic to have
Let's see if we can get him on.
Indeed.
Right, let's move on to a AIM stock. This is DX Group.
Yes.
What do they do?
They deliver parcels.
Right.
So again, it's in the Royal Mail space. They not performed well this year. It's a competitive market, very, very competitive. DX Group, a competitor of DX Group kindly threw a package of my neighbours over my fence which said fragile, and it is now broken. It wasn't DX Group. But that's the problem. They're under pressure to get things delivered. And unfortunately, there's an accounting error from DX Group. So they've announced that to the market. It's continued woes for these delivery companies, and they're down about 10% on the back of it.
Yuck. Right, let's move swiftly on to the currencies. The euro, Great British pound, hooray, below that 90 handle, and cable 134.40, 1 year high. Ronnie Chopra said we were going to 140. We chuckled. All the technical analysts on the show said this was going down to 120. It looks like the fundamental analysis may be right.
Well, I spoke to Ronnie this morning and obviously congratulated them. It's moving towards 140 by the end of the year, he did state. He's now saying it could go to 145, so bear that in mind. But parity, certainly for euro sterling, seems a long way over the channel now, a long way off. So onwards and upwards for the Great British pound. What does this actually mean? I mean, this is back of the Bank of England yesterday. Obviously not
7 plays 2.
Exactly, but looking at potentially reducing QE, it's shortened. It was 2 years, maybe 12 months now, and the market seems to like that. But the important thing as well, the stronger pound means inflation will start to drop, which the Bank of England will like. May not mean a rate rise as soon as some may expect, but a stronger pound is certainly positive, and certainly positive for those going on board.
That 2.9%.
Indeed.
And also, let's make sure we can go to Europe for a good holiday. Right, core number 25.
25 years ago, I was in school in shorts, but I do remember, I think it was about 14, 15. This is the anniversary of Black Wednesday.
87.
Yeah. No, this was 93, 94. It was a bit later. So this is Black Wednesday, when the UK or Bank of England really got it wrong with regards to setting interest rates and setting pegs against other European currencies, and the Deutschmark caused huge problems in the market. George Soros made £1 billion on the back of it.
The run on the pound.
We saw a crash in the pound. It cost the Bank of England and the government about £3.5 billion. There's a good article in City AM today, but actually this was a turning point where the Bank of England, it's globalisation. The Bank of England wasn't strong enough to support the pound because we are in a global economy. Now this all ties in, obviously, it's quite poignant with regards to negotiations going on, Brexit negotiations going on at the moment, and it's all about trade agreements and how currencies should be allowed to fluctuate.
Let's wrap up with the economic calendar. In the US, 1:30 retail sales, 6 o'clock Baker Hughes rig count, and 8 o'clock, seems a bit late now, the UN Security Council meeting.
Yes, retail sales is going to be a big one.
Big number always. Yep.
Look out for that out of the US. That's key. And 8 o'clock, obviously, UN Security Council meeting is with everything with North Korea going on. Japan and the US have asked for this emergency meeting, so look out for news from that. That may impact how North Korea reacts over the weekend. But like I said at the top of the show, it's not a risk on, it's not a risk off. It's maybe
times
do
to buy,
nothing.
times to sell, times to do nothing. Matt, thank you very much indeed.